Okay, let's talk about group trips. You know, you plan this fun getaway with friends, maybe head somewhere amazing like Chiang Mai for an event you're all buzzing about.
Sounds great, right? The perfect setup.
Exactly. But what if the place you pick to stay completely flips that? Turns into the source of something. Well, something genuinely unsettling.
And what's really interesting here, it's not just some ghost story, it's more about like how intentions, actions, the whole group dynamic, and maybe even the place itself, how all that can just collide.
Yeah, with some pretty profound and frankly disturbing results. So today we're really going to unpack a detailed personal account. Someone shared it online, we'll call him Pin.
All right.
And this wasn't just a random holiday, it was all centered around an idol event. But it brought together these different groups of friends, people who hadn't really traveled together before.
Right, that mix can be tricky sometimes.
Definitely. And their choice of accommodation, the small kind of remote resort outside the main city, that became the absolute epicenter of, well, something none of them saw coming.
So our plan here is to walk through Pin's story, pull out the key moments, and try to understand the sequence of events as he described them.
Yeah, it's not about saying believe this or don't believe that. It's about looking at the story itself. What does it suggest about, navigating unfamiliar places and dealing with different views within a group?
Because this account, it offers some pretty stark insights, doesn't it?
It really does. So let's get into it. Pin, the narrator, he says he's sort of a freelance introvert and an otaku really into idol groups.
Okay, so usually travels alone for these things.
Yeah, usually. But this time, for Chiang Mai, his mom was worried, apparently, didn't want him going solo, so she arranged for him to go with a high school friend.
Ah, okay, so that's the first shift in dynamics. A friend he wasn't maybe super close with anymore.
Right, and that friend brought along his friends, so it snowballed, started small, ended up being 6 people traveling together.
Got it. So, Pin, his direct companion, who Pin calls Pinya, so we'll call them Pin's group.
Pin and Pelin.
And then 4 other friends, part of the high school friends circle. We'll call them the friends.
Exactly. Plus a driver, also named Mirakan, who was also an otaku apparently, knew the way. Drove up from Nakhon Pathom, left super early, got to Chiang Mai late afternoon. Journey itself, smooth.
Okay, so far so good. First stop is the resort.
Yep. And Pin describes it as remote, almost like a homestay, he says. Right next to the forest, mountains nearby.
Picturesque, maybe space for tents too.
Yeah, sounds like it. Pin's group booked 2 houses right next to each other. Plan was 2 nights. Idol event day 1, head back the next morning.
Okay, standard plan.
But this is where it starts getting a little weird. Checking in, the owner, an older woman they call, Na, she was super friendly, showing them around, asking if they're tired, eaten yet, normal host stuff.
Standard hospitality.
Totally. But then she says something that just immediately strikes Pin as off.
Oh, what was that?
She tells them to make themselves completely at home because there's no one else there, just them.
Just the 6 of them, at the whole resort.
Yeah, and she specifically says she's going into the city to stay. Leaves her number, drives off, leaves them completely alone for the night.
Wow. Okay, that is odd for a business owner.
Right. Pin thinks, why leave your property, especially one right by a forest, totally unattended, no staff, no security? He kind of rationalizes it like maybe she had urgent business, but still...
It's the first real note of unease. Definitely.
Yeah. And straight away, you see the difference between the 2 groups, the friends and Pin's group.
Also,
the 4 friends, immediately buzzing about being alone, planning to drink, party, be loud, No worries about bothering anyone.
Well, while Pin and Penna are maybe taking in the quiet, remote vibe a bit differently.
Seems like it. So they split up for supplies. Pin and Ton and Headland to a small market maybe 8 kilometers away for cooking gear, camping stuff. The 4 friends stick together.
Okay.
And this is where we get another little clue about the place. Pin's paying at a convenience store near the market. Cashier makes a friendly comment like, wow, buying a lot. Pin mentions the name of the resort they're staying at.
And the cashier's reaction.
It's crucial. Just a brief look, Pin says. Surprise. Maybe even shock. Crosses her face.
Oh, wow.
She covers it fast, puts on this sort of strained smile, looks away, seems nervous. Pin asks if something's wrong.
Yeah, she says,
No, nothing. But, her expression doesn't really sell it.
Yeah, that subtle reaction from a local.
Yeah.
That speaks volumes, doesn't it? It tells Pin, and this place isn't just quiet, it has a reputation. Maybe a history.
Exactly. It's like this immediate nonverbal red flag. Local knowledge. They apparently exchanged a look. Pin and Pon kind of understood the implication.
But they didn't tell the others.
No, felt like the friends would just brush it off, maybe laugh at them.
Right, so they head back.
Yeah, it took them a while, didn't get back till nearly 8 p.m., started setting up their camp area, getting ready to cook dinner, and this is where the different attitudes really clashed.
Okay, how?
Pin and Thano felt, especially in a place like that, so close to nature, seemingly remote, they felt it was important to show respect.
Meaning?
Like, acknowledge the local spirits, the guardians of the place, maybe light some incense, let them know they're there respectfully, a common practice in many places.
Makes sense. And the friends.
Their reaction was immediate, dismissive. One of them, Goff, apparently straight up asked Pin why he was being superstitious, said they were there to relax, have fun, not do pointless rituals.
Oof. Refused to join in.
Totally refused, mocking it even.
Okay, that feels like a turning point. Whether you believe in it or not, rejecting, even mocking a local custom of respect.
Yeah.
Especially after that hint from the cashier.
Right.
It sets a tone.
Right. It's like cultural disrespect, and in this story's context, maybe spiritual disrespect too. Pin and the Tanakana kind of sensed the vibe, didn't push it, did their own quiet ritual.
So they light their incense, say their piece, while the others start cooking, drinking, getting louder.
Yeah. After dinner, the drinking just continues. Noise levels go up. Pin thinks about maybe joining them for a bit, but then Sun gives him this subtle nudge.
Oh, what did he say?
Told Pin they should go inside the house. Quickly, said the atmosphere just didn't feel right.
Didn't feel good.
Yeah, and Pin noticed its Kanagan looked really pale, which was significant because Pin knew Hippos was like sensitive to unseen things, but hardly ever mentioned anything he perceived.
So for him to say something and look pale, that's a big warning sign.
Huge. Pin took the hint straight away, told the friends he was done drinking, went inside with them.
How did the friends take that?
Not well. Thought Pin was being scaredy cat or antisocial. Started mocking him from outside, loudly, kicking his door.
Seriously?
Yeah, yelling stuff like, "What are you scared of? Ghosts aren't real. Come on, I'll kick it over." Taunting him.
Wow. That's aggressive.
Pin could hear it all clearly. Felt annoyed, obviously, even knowing they were drunk. But Pin just told him, ignore it, go to sleep. And then really emphatically, trust me, sleep.
Just sleep.
Yeah. Pin was curious, like, why the urgency? Asked him. So the automatic hesitated, then apparently leaned in close and whispered.
What?
That he'd seen something, a shadow of a woman standing near where they'd been cooking earlier.
He saw something and told Pin. That's major, given he usually keeps quiet. Indicates real perceived danger.
Definitely. Pin was surprised. He asked, was she just standing there, watching?
Kinna Maloon got just shook his head, looked really serious, said, I don't think so.
Chilling. I don't think so.
Yeah, that was enough for Pin. Got ready for bed super fast, like Thought of My Gun said, outside. The friends kept partying for a while, loud. But eventually, Pin drifted off.
Okay, so things quietened down for a bit.
But then, around midnight, maybe 1 a.m., Pin gets violently woken up.
Frantic, loud knocking on their door, and desperate shouting, "Pin! Pin, open the door! Pin, it's bad! Open the door!"
Oh, Mike.
Pin, startled, doesn't just jump up and open it. He cautiously gets up, goes to peek through the curtain first.
Smart move. And what did he see?
A horrifying scene. He saw Goff, the one who'd been mocking him earlier, frantically banging on their door, his face just twisted with terror.
Just Goff?
No. Behind Goff, another friend, Bill, was just rigid, still, on the ground. And further back, the other two, Jack and James, huddled together, visibly trembling, terrified.
Okay, that's bad enough, but was there something else?
Yes. Then he saw the figure. Pin described it as impossibly clear, like it was lit by a spotlight, even through the tinted glass door. A woman he didn't know.
What did she look like?
Sitting beside Goff, hugging her knees. Long, messy hair covering her face. But her neck, it was tilted, unnaturally, head resting on her shoulder.
Oh, God.
And she was pointing, a long skeletal finger, pointing towards the two friends on the ground, Bill and maybe the others nearby.
The clarity of it, the posture, the pointing, that's incredibly specific. Suggests something actively targeting them.
Absolutely. Seeing that image, Pin just recoiled from the door, yanked the curtain shut. Any urge to help just vanished, replaced by absolute, freezing terror.
I can only imagine.
Said his limbs felt numb, heart pounding, totally paralyzed by fear. He'd never seen anything like that, so distinctly. Could only imagine the horror the friends outside had just experienced.
So what did he do? His first reaction?
pure self-preservation. He went back to his bed, pulled the covers right over his head, trying to block it all out. He could still hear Goff's desperate knocking and pleading for a while.
Just lying there, hearing that. Must have been torture.
He said he was struggling, this mix of fear, but also that instinct to help his friends. And then this sudden dark thought, like, maybe they kind of deserved it after being so disrespectful.
That's a rough place to be mentally.
But the feeling of not being able to just abandon them wouldn't go away. He decided, okay, he had to try. He had to help.
Okay, so he's about to go to the door.
Just as he's about to steel himself, psych himself up to open it, something else happens. Something distinct, chilling.
What?
He heard a voice, clear as day, like an old man speaking, slowly, coldly, right in his ear.
In his ear? What did it say?
It said, don't get involved, you can't help them.
Whoa, okay, that's direct and terrifying.
Totally. That voice, so close, so clear, it was an immediate, powerful stop sign. His hand, which was reaching for the doorknob, just pulled back instantly. He looked around the room. Nothing. No one there. No shadow. Nothing.
Just the voice.
Just the voice. And that absolutely solidified his decision. The terror was too much. And now this warning, he just focused entirely on protecting himself, went back under the covers, tried to shut everything out.
That voice, separate from the woman apparition, explicitly warning him. It adds another layer, doesn't it? Suggests maybe multiple things going on, some perhaps less hostile to Pin's group, or actively keeping them out of it.
Could be. After a while, the frantic knocking stopped. Then Pin heard the door to the friend's house open, followed by a lot of shouting, commotion from over there. Eventually, even that noise died down. Silence. And exhaustion, or maybe shock, must have let him finally fall asleep.
Until morning.
Ow.
Which probably didn't make the terror go away, but maybe brought some clarity, or at least the friend's side of the story.
Exactly. Pin woke up early, went outside to check. Party remnants still there, but no friends. He went over to their house, knocked. Goff opened the door. Looked utterly wrecked, pale, drawn, massive dark circles under his eyes. Just the picture of someone who'd been through hell and hadn't slept. Pin, kind of playing dumb, asked what was wrong. Goff just immediately launched into it, said they'd been haunted, recounted the whole terrifying night.
And what did he say triggered it? Did they know?
Yes. Goff said it was Bill. Bill had gone to pee near a tree, facing towards what they only realized later was a small shrine, hidden in the bushes near the main spirit house Pin had seen.
Oh no.
Apparently someone had told him not to pee there, but Bill did it anyway.
Urinating near or on a shrine? Yeah, that's often seen as a massive act of disrespect in places with those beliefs, so huge insult.
Right, and Goff said, like 10 minutes after Bill did that, the lights outside started flickering. When they came back on, that's when Goff saw her. The disheveled woman, twisted neck, sitting near Bill, pointing.
Just like Pin saw from the window.
Exactly. Lights went out again. Then Bill started convulsing on the ground, Jack and James just screaming, frozen in fear. Goff ran to Pin's door for help.
But Pin didn't open because of the voice and the fear.
Right. Goff eventually managed to drag Bill inside after the convulsions stopped and he passed out. Physically, Bill seemed okay when he came to, but Goff said he had, no memory of the fit itself.
But it wasn't over then, even after they got inside.
Nope. Goff said for the rest of the night, after they tried to sleep, they just heard continuous laughter. An old man's voice, the woman's voice. Sounds of running around their house. Constant torment. Didn't sleep a wink.
Wow. That confirms Pin hearing the old man's voice, too. Sure. Suggests it was deliberate, prolonged harassment just for them.
And then Goff shared the creepiest part, what Bill remembered or dreamt while he was unconscious.
What was it?
Bill saw the disheveled woman sitting on his chest, whispering to him.
Whispering what?
You don't survive. I'll follow you.
Oh, that's deeply disturbing. That suggests it wasn't just tied to the location, but it latched onto Bill personally. Promised to follow him.
Yeah. Hearing all this, Pin said the fear just washed over him again. The image of the woman he saw flashed back. He realized just how incredibly lucky he and Ankan Nas were to have stayed out of it.
Seeing Goff totally serious and scared after his mocking the night before must have been quite a contrast.
Huge contrast. Pin immediately suggested they needed to leave. Go get purified, make merit at a temple, now.
And the friends agreed.
Instantly, desperate to get out of there. Forget staying another night. They packed up incredibly fast and just left the resort.
So, where did they go? Did they find a temple?
Thingdro drove. He'd noticed a temple nearby, but when they got there, it seemed deserted. So he drove them quite a bit further to another temple he knew in a different district.
And maybe it's chance, maybe not. As they arrived, a monk was walking through the grounds. He stopped them, called out, asking where they were going, what happened. Said he could see something was following them.
The monk could see it.
Yeah. He led them inside, and the four friends just poured out the whole story. The monk listened patiently. His first reaction, just a quiet, somber, what a shame. Then he performed a ritual for the four friends, chanting sacred string, the whole thing.
Did he say it would fix it?
Not exactly. Afterwards, he spoke to the whole group, Pin on it, and Klonin included. He told the four friends that what happened was basically due to their karma, their actions. The ritual could only lessen the consequences, not erase them.
Okay, lessen them. But what about Pin and Sanyuan?
He specifically addressed them, told them they were fine, and that it was good they hadn't gotten involved. Said interfering would have actually made their own karmic situation much worse.
Wow. So that confirms it. Confirms the wisdom, or maybe the necessity, of Pin not opening that door. The monk's words echo that old man's voice Pin heard. Involvement would have dragged them down too.
Seems like it.
Yeah.
After the temple, the group split. Pin and Konaku went to their idol event as planned. The four friends headed into the city, though Pin doubted they were really up for enjoying anything.
And did they meet up again to go home?
Yeah, met later for the drive back. And the difference in their experiences apparently continued. Pin and Kofunk, nothing else strange happened to them, totally fine.
To the four friends.
They continued to be haunted, according to the account. Back home in Nakhon Pathom, especially Bill, reportedly saw the disheveled woman sitting by his bed every night.
Every night. That must have taken a huge toll.
Yeah, the account says it really affected his health, his well-being, left him weak, maybe messed with his mental state.
So what happened? Did they do anything else?
It got so bad, apparently their families eventually took Bill and the other three all the way back to Chiang Mai, specifically to do an apology ceremony, right at the spot where Bill had,
peed near the shrine.
Exactly. And it was only then, in broad daylight, that they clearly saw what of a good sound. Pin had only glimpsed this small, old, run-down wooden spirit shrine, tucked away in the grass and flowers, easy to miss in the dark. Confirming the sacred spot, Bill had disrespected.
Did the apology work? Does Pin know?
He doesn't know for sure if it fully resolved it. Says the last time he saw them, the four friends still looked pretty gaunt, troubled. The narrator, Pin, kind of speculates maybe the owner leaving the resort empty at night. Maybe that was because she knew about these entities from past experiences.
And the friends' deliberate disrespect just poured gasoline on the fire.
Exactly. Aggravated an already sensitive situation, amplified everything to a terrifying level.
So, this whole account, it really lands as this vivid, chilling lesson, doesn't it? A stark reminder that when you're traveling, especially somewhere with strong local beliefs or folklore, respect isn't just like good manners.
No, it can have real, unforeseen consequences, maybe even involving things you can't see.
So, thinking about this whole unsettling story, what are the main things we can sort of pull from it?
Well, it definitely highlights the potential danger when you've got group dynamics where some members are just dismissive or outright disrespectful towards local customs or beliefs, whether it's about spirits or just, cultural norms.
Yeah, it makes you think, how do you handle traveling with friends who have really different ideas about risk or totally different belief systems about the world, seen or unseen?
And this story throws up a really challenging idea too. Sometimes maybe just being present when others are disrespectful could be enough to attract negative attention.
Right. But crucially, maybe actively choosing not to jump into the chaos that follows listening to your gut. Or like Pin, hearing a warning, maybe that's the only way to protect yourself sometimes.
It really leaves you with a tough question, doesn't it? What's your responsibility when people around you, intentionally or not, stir up trouble?
Yeah, and how do you possibly know when stepping in to help is the right call versus when it's just going to pull you into something way over your head?
Something with potentially awful consequences like this story suggests happened to some, but thankfully not all of them. Makes you think.